Joey, learning from Randy Webb, learning from Melanie, right? And I think it's always important that we remain a student. You know, one of the mistakes that I made in this industry as I was climbing from the ranks to Platinum 150 all the way to Chairman 50 is that I didn't remain a student, right? And I didn't do the things that got me to where I was at. And that's when stagnicity is created, right? You stay in the same position if you're not constantly growing. So even if it's the things that you continue to hear, plug that in and listen, right? I mean, we can listen to the same song. I don't know about you guys, but especially growing up, I'm that type of individual. I'll keep playing the song over and over and over again because I like it. I'm playing it 3, 5, 10 different times. Okay, so be willing to do the same thing with the same information that changes your situation. Now, you know, it's an honor to, you know, with the accolades and everyone saying, you know, I did a great job on stage and one of the great speakers, but I constantly, you know, grow. I constantly, you know, understand and humble myself. For number one, humbling myself to God, because he's the greatest, right? He's the GOAT. And then number two, I'm team made, I'm not self-made. So a lot of things that you hear, I've learned from my upline leadership, right? The reason why I'm at Chairman 50 is because of my team, right? I'm never going to be the person that's going to say, hey, it's all about me. How I was able to get to the next level was instead of putting the spotlight on myself, I was willing to put the spotlight on other people within inside of my team. So that's just a quick nugget. But guys, let's get right into the information. And I want to share with you guys how you can elevate. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let's get ready to take notes. And let me do this really quick. Awesome. All right, let's start to elevate. So a little bit about me, guys. As he mentioned, I used to work at Chick-fil-A making $8.25 an hour. I was that person saying, you know, welcome to Chick-fil-A. How can I help you? Would you like a number one, number two? I was that person in the front. Right off the rip, I knew that I was just different. You know, they didn't put me in the back. You know, I'm not touching the chicken. I'm not touching the fries. They did have me take out the trash and I did, you know, do the dishes once or twice, right? But with that being said, you know, I fell in love with just being able to serve other people. I saw the environment of Chick-fil-A and I was like, you know what? I wanted to be able to take this to the next level. I was creating systems and I was like, I already want to skip to the next level. I want to be a Chick-fil-A, you know, franchise owner. But I quickly realized that I didn't want, you know, just to have a job and be a glorified, you know, employee. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I got into this industry of network marketing, been a part of it for 7 years. It's actually going to be my 6th year coming up in 5 days. So my 6-year anniversary being a part of I Am Mastery Academy. And it was evident, guys, you know, working at Chick-fil-A, one day on a Tuesday is when they do interviews. So on a Tuesday afternoon, I was working with my twin brother. We saw this older lady. She had to be in her 60s. She came in and she was applying for a job. I looked at my brother. He looked at me. It was like a movie. And we were like, yo, what is happening? Everybody else that was working was like, hey, it's normal. You know, she probably is coming out of retirement because it's boring. And I just didn't see life that way. Like, if you're going to be so bored, you're not going to come out of retirement to go work at a job to smell like peanut oil. You're going to come out of retirement to really impact other people's lives. So that's what I'm really about, is to be able to travel the world, impact other people's lives, you know, really connect with other individuals. And luckily I was able to find that through I Am Mastery Academy. So I want to get right into the vision. Okay. My vision when it comes down to I Am Mastery Academy and what I'm all about. Okay. This is going to really change for you guys, for the people that have been a part of this for maybe a year, less than a month, but over time, this is my vision being a part of this industry coming up on 6 years. Okay. So as the world becomes more digital over physical, I want to create a community where we can truly connect with others and help one another achieve our goals. Okay, over the next decade, millions of people will be joining the industry of network marketing to just be around real people, to have real conversations, right? To connect with one another. And I will be here to create and lead millionaires in this profession, right? Through the ups and downs in my career, being a part of this industry, I had to really ask myself, Nigel, is it about the money? If you were to make Chairman 750, making $750,000 a month outside of this business, would you still be here? And the answer is yes, because I truly have found my passion. And ultimately, I find fulfillment through speaking into the lives of other people. Being able to do this. I mean, I remember just being on a Zoom call with one person and completely being scared, right? Because I was more introverted and extroverted. I had to really grow outside of myself, right? And although that was scary, I was willing to do it because I didn't want to just meet my potential. I wanted to outgrow my potential, right? So I truly believe, guys, that network marketing is one of the best professions, and we really have to align ourselves with the vision of building this business, because building the business is building and connecting with people. Now, the mission is simple. I'm aligning myself with I Am Academy's mission, which is to enrich, empower, and to I messed up on this, to enrich, empower, and educate 1 million of lives. Okay. And so to impact lives through servant leadership, financial literacy, and to invest, right? I don't truly know that a lot of companies or their mission statement is to help people with financial literacy. Most places, like a job, I remember taking time off of work and I ended up getting fired at Chick-fil-A because I was spending more time building my network marketing business here inside of iMastery Academy than I was showing up. I was taking more time off of work, and my boss said, hey, it seems like you really don't want to be here, so we're going to let you go and let you fly in whatever endeavors you want to do, which is crazy. But this company is all about helping people grow and understand financial literacy, which is super important. We don't learn this in school. I wish that I was learning this when I was going to high school. But right after high school, being 18, I got in this industry of network marketing, and I'm super blessed for it. So let's talk about the 4 C's, guys. This has really helped me. And I created this to establish the foundation of why we do what we do. Anything in life can really correlate to the 4 C's. Okay, the first one is consistency. Jason Brown, Chairman 750, attributes his success to consistency. Okay, it's how bad do you want success and the goals, and how bad can you be consistent? It really comes down to the discipline, which we all have to constantly grow in, because there's things that we want to do and there's things that we don't want to do. And most likely we're doing the things we want to do over the things that we don't want to do, right? So it sounds simple, but we have to be willing to apply it. The next C is commitment. When I came into this industry, when I came to iMastery Academy, I am committed. I'm not going to jump from company to company. No shade for people who do that. Sometimes you got to find the right, leadership, the right company to really flourish in. But I had that mentality like the Spurs, right? I had that mentality like Michael Jordan. I'm not going to switch teams, right? I'm not going to go somewhere else and go to a different company. I'm going to stay committed all the way through, and I'm going to make it happen. Because if I try to go to somebody else's, organization or some other company thinking the grass is going to be greener, it's not going to happen. Right. So I had that mentality like Michael Jordan. I'm going to stay committed. I'm going to win here because I know it's possible. The next C is coachability. And this is something that I preach, because it's easy to be a coach, but it's not easy to receive the coaching. Okay. And, if you're a type of person that has to grow in this area, hey, we all do, including myself. You don't want to take things too personal in this business. If your mentor, if your coach is coaching you in a particular area, he wants you or she wants you to win. So, take it with a grain of salt. Not all mentors are really mentoring. I really like to say that we're coaches, because mentorship is used loosely, right? We don't have that person that's constantly calling us and telling us not what we can do better in our business, not only that, but what we can do better in our life. So if you want to take mentorship seriously, I would encourage you guys to help people in their life and not just in their business. But in the meantime, majority of us that are starting in this business, we are coaches. Okay. Now the next C to live by, the next attribute, guys, is courage. You're going to have courage to, go against the grain. You're going to need the courage to believe in yourself. I remember Randy, speaking on these Elevate calls, and he was talking about, majority of people do not have the mindset that we have. Majority of people in life do not believe in themselves. And the one thing I loved about network marketing in this industry is that it's all about believing in yourself and then taking that belief, how much you believe in yourself, and pour it onto other people. I don't know about you guys, but if you were a class clown, I need you to go type a clown in the chat box. Were you that person at the table, making jokes, maybe flaming people up? Let me see. Am I the only clown in the room tonight? Okay. We got some clowns. We got some clowns. Cool. So, I was a clown in high school. I would, just make a lot of jokes. I was a lot smaller than I am now. So, I was definitely not a fighter, but I can fight with my words. I can flame someone up really quick, right? But, that was my environment. At the lunch table, we're talking about gossip. We're talking about other people. We're talking about the fights that just happened. You're talking about Susie with the booty, talking about LeBron with the arms. You're talking about other people. And in that environment, we weren't talking about growing. We weren't talking about, becoming an entrepreneur. How can we retire our parents? We weren't talking about those things. And so you have to understand that the majority of the world are talking about others and they're not lifting up other people. So when it comes down to courage, when people are talking about other people, set the tone, change the atmosphere, change the environment, right? And start uplifting people. I tell my friends all the time, hey, let's start encouraging more. I'm not really with the flaming up and being a clown. I left that back in high school, right? So these are the 4 C's that you guys can live by: consistency, commitment, coachability, and courage. So moving on to how we can actually create more courage. We've all heard this saying, right? If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. But the question you got to ask yourself is, how am I standing up for something currently? We all hear this, but really take the time to think about it. What are you standing up for currently in your life? So here are some examples that I created in this exercise. Okay, these are things that you want to stand up for. I want you guys to create a list of 3 or more beliefs, areas in your life that you want to publicly stand up for. One of the things that I wrote was, I want to stand up for human sex trafficking. Okay. And as I started to progress in understanding this, there was a random night where I just started crying in my bed, thinking about all the people that are in human trafficking. It's $1 billion industry. It's one of the things that goes under the radar that you don't really hear about. I remember being at barbershops and restaurants, and off to the side, I would see something about missing people. Yet the missing people, it was always hidden. I remember being at the barbershop and it was talking about missing people and sex trafficking. There was a coat hanger that everyone hung their coats on, and it was hiding the fact that there was missing people. I remember being at restaurants and it was like the smallest thing to read. You wouldn't even really pay attention to it. You're focused more on the menu of what you're going to eat rather than, what they're trying to project, right? And so I was like, you know what? I really want to align myself with this. This is a huge issue that people really don't talk about, right? So number 2 in the example is my faith. Okay, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. I encourage you guys to do the exact same thing. Okay, the one thing that really held me back from growing in this business and growing in general was the saying that you cannot mix politics, cannot mix your religion or your faith in business. That is true at a job. That is true in corporate America. But in network marketing, we're our own boss. We can say what's on our mind. We can say what's true to ourselves. And the more true you can be to yourself, the more you can be able to attract other people that would rather stand on truth than stand on the lie. The world and social media is already telling us who we need to be. The world is already telling us the opposite things of what we believe in and what our faith is. We might as well put out something that we truly believe in. So in my faith and who I believe in and who I am, I'm going to stand up for my faith. The third thing is entrepreneurship. I Am Mastery Academy, anything that aligns with entrepreneurship. Guys, I align myself with entrepreneurship first before I do in this academy. And the reason why I want you to have that mindset is because sometimes we believe that people are not entrepreneurs. They don't want to grow in business. They don't want to take their life to the next level if they don't join our company. If you have that mindset, you have the wrong mindset. That mindset is a cult-like paradigm. I'll say that again. That mindset is a cult-like paradigm. People do not have to join our company to become successful. It is a step in the right direction. If they do, it can jumpstart, their success with networking, be able to learn new skill sets of investing and trading and e-commerce and every academy that we have. But it's not the only way. So I stand up for entrepreneurship. I let people know, hey, I'm not down on jobs. I'm not down on what you're doing. I'm up on entrepreneurship, and anything that aligns on that, I'm going to be sharing that with the world. So in the example, I want you guys to list 5 ways for each item on how you can take action. So I was reading this in a book and it really helped me. I was just going through, the pages, and I just kept reading, but they gave us action steps. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start to take action. So I want you guys to take action on this. Right after this call, as you're taking notes, you're screenshotting, make sure you do this right after this call and really reflect. This may take some of you guys 30 minutes, may take you guys, an hour to 2 hours, whatever time you need. I encourage you guys to get this done. Okay. So this is also how you standing up is really going to manifest itself. How are you going to take action on these things? So the first thing is I'm creating a clothing brand called Love Blindly. It's all about, positive messaging, spreading more love and awareness. Part of that is I'm going to part of the proceeds when I create the end human sex trafficking portion of the brand, I'm going to donate to the victims. Okay. And I'm going to be able to spread more awareness about human sex trafficking. Okay. The second thing is being able to speak at events. Okay. So any event, I'm going to be the person that maybe is a keynote speaker or adding a testimony to be able to speak up against human sex trafficking. The third thing is to do more research to educate myself, right? I don't want to just read the statistics. I do want to be part of the change, but I want to make sure I'm involved in it. I don't want to just talk about it, but I want to do research. That way I can have a better understanding. See, not only, help victims or help people not become a victim with inside of this industry, which is $1 billion industry. Crazy. Okay. The next thing is to be a part of the change for organizations, to lead organizations, to donate towards different causes, and to, put on events for these organizations. And lastly is to be vocal on social media. Okay. So I'm going to be, an advocate for human sex trafficking, different things that I'm seeing online. I'm going to post about it. I'm going to make sure I'm doing my part in helping people. I remember speaking on stage about this, and, we get Amber Alerts, and sometimes it annoys us. We're just like, what's going on? Maybe it woke you up, or maybe just interfered with, a meeting or a presentation you were doing. And it's so easy to put our phone back in our pocket. But have you ever taken the time to read an Amber Alert and be like, wow, kids are going missing, right? You want to be able to get emotionally involved, just like how they say, get emotionally involved with your why. Get emotionally involved with the causes to be able to take action on the things that you say that, are important to you. So why does all this matter? It matters because this is who you are. Okay. People don't just join a business. They join people, which is you. So the question I want to ask you guys is, are you talking about just the business? Or are you talking about who you have become and who you are becoming? I'm going to ask that question again. Are you talking about just the business, I Am Mastery Academy, the products, the services, the educators, or are you talking about who you have become / the person that you are becoming? Right? One of the first OG slides in I Am Mastery Academy with inside of the presentations, it says, what will you become? It's all about taking someone from point A to point B and growing as individuals. Guys, I mean, Chairman 50, $50,000 a month, phenomenal. Chef's kiss. But it's not the money that I really love, right? I get to impact a lot of people. I get to pay for my parents' bills. I get to show people what's possible. But really above the money, it is the person I had to become to get to the level that I am today that I cherish the most. Because I can lose it all, but it'll still be a win because everything I had to go through, everything I had to grow through to be the person I am today. Why does all this matter? Because of focus. There's less distractions when you have vision on what you want to accomplish, when you understand what you value. I'm going to be more focused than ever if I have, the things that I'm aligning myself with, the things that I want to be able to accomplish and stand for. People are going to know you as the individual that's standing up for something. So in these different elements of your life, other than just business, you're going to be able to meet people that stand up for the same things that you do. Sometimes it's not the conversation about business that gets someone interested in what you do and they sign up. It's based on what you're standing for outside of the business. And then they end up joining. What is bringing you closer to an individual? And most people aren't talking about what they stand up for. They're talking about gossip. They're talking about sports. They're talking about the norm. You stand out and you spend more time with the people that are standing up for something rather than the people that are not. Okay. The next thing is alignment, which is super key. You're going to be able to work with others that align with your vision. You're going to be super focused. And this is what I'm teaching my team because I want us to all stand up for something. I want us to all grow. One of the things in the beginning, yes, it makes sense to do. You're going to spend less time with family. You spend less time with loved ones. You're going to spend less time doing the things that you love. Yes, in a certain season, because you're going to spend more time building your business. But I want you guys to do is not just spend time, working on your business, spend time doing the things that you love. So if you love to paint, start painting. If you love to, watch a sports game live with friends and family, do that, right? You have to put yourself in positions to be able to network with other people. Too often I see people, especially my age, they go all in too soon. They quit their jobs. They stop everything that they loved and the things that they were passionate about just to focus on this business. And they end up finding themselves out of this business because they forgot to do the things that they love, right? Make sure you're making God a priority. And we'll talk about this here in a second. Be a part of a community. So, get involved in your faith because you're going to be around people that want to be a part of your business, that want to do what you do. But if you're too busy hanging out with people that are only in your business, how are you going to bring more people into your business if everyone's already involved? Okay. So take a screenshot, take notes on this. This is why what I'm talking about matters. Let's talk about vertical alignments. What are your priorities? What I want you guys to be able to do is write this list in order of importance. Everyone's vertical alignment is going to look different, okay? But this is just an example of how I have mine set up. Number one for me is God all the way. I have to seek his kingdom first and everything else will be added onto me. I understand that in my own strength, I'm only human. I need to seek God. I need to pray on the things that he has for me in my life. Because through the stresses of anxiety and depression, no matter how close you are to your faith, that weighs on us, right? There's no amount of personal development that you can do. There's no amount of calls that you can hop on. They're still going to be filled with stress, the depression, and anxieties of life. Right? It's not how many more calls can I do, but how many times can I pick up the phone when God is calling me, right? So if you feel a tug on your heart, if you feel a tug on your mind, definitely take that time to align with your creator. Okay. So God is the number one priority. The second is my wife. Okay. Maybe you have kids and then it's your wife. Maybe you have your family and then it's your wife. But for me, I know that it's important that my wife comes first. She's second to God. But, us being unified, us being one is super important, that I, nurture our relationship and make her a priority. It says in the Bible that it's no good for a man to be alone, right? So I'm going to make sure that I'm nurturing the relationship. I'm going to make sure that I'm growing. And we also do business together inside of I Am Mastery Academy, which I'm super blessed for, right? So she actually responded to one of my Instagram ads. Shout out to AWOL. He put me on game with the Instagram ads. And hey, through that, I was able to find my wife. I've always told myself that my wife was going to be inside of the industry of network marketing. Okay. She was a complete boss. She got started the exact same day that I shared with her the presentation. Crazy, right? What if I never used the Instagram ads? What if I was never a part of I Am Mastery Academy? I wouldn't be with my wife today. Okay. The third vertical alignment for me is my family. I'm a family man. I love just spending time with my family. We can be doing nothing. We can just be in each other's presence. And why this is super important is because you'll understand what is important to me. Really determine that, because there's a lot of people that don't understand like what's important to them. They kind of just go with the wind of life. And this kind of can put things into perspective. Okay, maybe my vertical alignment is off, right? And maybe I need to get it right. Now, I grew up in a family, well, even like when I was growing up and going to high school, they didn't really care how long I stayed up. We were always spending time with one another. So I grew up to value time freedom. So that was the problem with me working jobs. I'm spending 8 to 9 hours, maybe overtime, spending time with people that I don't really want to work with, smelling like peanut oil, right? Taking people's orders all day. If I grew up in a family that's based off of values and we value time freedom, I'm not working a job, because that's how I grew up. I'm looking for any opportunity that aligns with time freedom. You see how it's super important, even in our family structure. You see how it's important that we break generational curses and create generational wealth, because maybe you weren't an individual that had family time and you didn't understand time freedom. But guess what? You can break the generational curses and you can create something new for your family. My parents broke the generational curse on their family. My mom didn't have a great relationship with her family. My dad didn't have a great relationship with his family. But guess what? They were able to come together and unify and decide what their vertical alignment was going to be. So guys, we have an opportunity. It's bigger than I Am Mastery Academy. It's bigger than bringing people into this business. We need to have the mindset of breaking generational curses and creating generational wealth, because I am a product of my family, and the way that I was raised determined what I was going to do. And it wasn't a job. It was entrepreneurship. I Am Mastery Academy favors entrepreneurship. I Am Mastery Academy favors time freedom. I Am Mastery Academy favors residual income. I'm aligning myself with the company. So are you aligned based on actions? When you create this list, that will be the determining factor. Okay, I say my vertical alignment is God, but the first thing I wake up, first thing that I do, I get on my phone. I'm responding to emails. I'm responding to text messages. It seems like my vertical alignment is off. I'm actually making business my top priority. Are you aligned based on actions? My wife is trying to talk to me and have a conversation, but I'm on my phone. And I'm on scrolling through Instagram or replying to people on my team. I'm taking calls. Say, hey, hold that thought. Someone's calling me. I just look at my phone. I got to answer this call really quick. It doesn't seem like I'm making my wife a priority number 2. She's actually last, right? So this exercise, if you guys take action, will really help you see and stay on track and stay focused. Okay. So the fourth spot for me is business. It's God, my wife, family, and then my business. I got to keep that in mind at all times. Now, in different seasons, things can start to change. You can communicate with your spouse, right? For me, I'm always keeping God number one. You know, sometimes my family, it wasn't my family. Back when I was Platinum 150, I was doing this for my family. So my business came before them at some points. But the bad habit is you could be doing this for your family. And then when you have the time, freedom, and you have the money, you start to spend less time with your family because that's what you would train yourself to do. So when I had the time freedom, I was spending less time with my family. And I said it was important to me. I was doing it for them. I wanted to retire them, wanted to pay for their bills. I got so used to making them last and my business first, I forgot why I was doing this in the first place. We never want to lose sight of the vision. We never want to lose why we're doing this business. There's nothing wrong with spending time with your family and spending time with your why. Okay. So what's on your list, guys, will determine what you're willing to die for, ultimately what you're wanting to live for. So keep adding to your list. Those are just some examples, but you know, the more that you have on the list, the better. So this is a recap, guys, and the homework. Create a list of 3 beliefs that you will publicly stand up for. Then write down ways you could take action on those beliefs. The second thing is to create your vertical alignments in order of importance and keep adding to the list. This has really helped me in my life to make sure I'm making the things that are important to me a priority, to making sure that I'm standing up for something. I'm not just in this business to do business, but I'm in this business to connect with people and to truly help people. If you're going to call yourself a mentor, I highly suggest and encourage you to mentor people, not just in their business, but also in their life. Because as the saying goes that I created, is if you can get your life right, you can get your business right. So there's going to be a lot of great information, guys, on these calls. You know, like I said, we had Joey, he elevated us all on the first call. Then we had Randy Webb, we had Melanie. So continue to make this call a priority, guys, because there's going to be a lot of valuable information that can take your business to the next level, that can take your life to the next level. Okay, let's truly start to connect with one another. You know, I made the big mistake of not connecting with people just, you know, in my team, but as well as outside of my team, the sidelines, my uplines, you know, the people that are on the corporate staff. You know, there is such a thing, keeping to yourself in this industry. You don't want to be a team hermit where you're only known within your team. You want to stretch your impact so big that you're known all across the world in other people's teams, is because service to many leads to greatness. We want to become servants. Drop in the chat if you know who was the greatest leader on planet Earth. And my team knows, so they might say that right away. All day. The greatest leader on earth was indeed Jesus. And here's why. When the world says, hey, I'll forgive you, but I won't forget. You know what Jesus says? He says, I forgive you, forgive your sins, but he also forgets it like they never happened. If you come into repentance and you're like, yo, I really messed up. Please help me, forgive me. Jesus forgets it. The world says, hey, I'm going to love my friends, but if you're an enemy, yo, I become a hater. I don't like you. I'm never going to help you. But Jesus says, love your neighbors as yourself and love your enemies. Crazy. He also says, turn the other cheek. So in this business, guys, it's all about servant leadership. The more we can become better individuals, the more that we can serve, the more we become the best leaders in this industry that anyone's ever seen. And we do things not of the world, but we do things that's in alignment with our creator. And we just continue to press in and connect with each individual, to come at their level, to understand what they're going through, to give more empathy, to give more love, to be more encouraging, people will join this business. We're talking about a 3-figure conversation. It's only $200 to get started. What's going to keep people is your constant servanthood. And watch people go to the next level. Watch people, cheer for your name because they know who you're connected to. Because guys, when it's all said and done, I don't want people to remember my name for all the things that I've done and for my rank and for my title. Who cares about that? When people hear the name Nigel Stinson, I want them to automatically think about all the names I was able to help. So with that being said, guys, let's stay connected. I want you guys to share with me what you're standing up for. I want to encourage you. I want to, send you a prayer and send me your vertical alignments. Let's stay connected, guys. Let's get to the top because the bottom is way too crowded, guys. We have wives to take care of. We have our families to take care of. Let's continue to become the better versions of ourselves, and your future self is definitely going to thank you for it. So thank you so much, guys. You guys have a phenomenal night. Take care. We'll see you on the next call coming up Wednesday. Let's get it.